in your life.
Yes.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. 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 Lisa. Welcome. 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 What's such a gift? Oh, it's interesting because we have this balancing energy here, isn't it, Michael? Can you feel it?
It's nice to see a lot of sacred masculine divine here. I knew that we were bringing a powerhouse today and our blessings are bringing to be here. So I feel that we're so gifted that as one sacred masculine, so does brings the others in the beautiful balance of the sacred divine feminine. We're so honored for us all to be here together. Thank you guys for being here on a Sunday, on a week that we know that there's lots going on, holidays, spring break, and everything in between. So it's nice to see a larger group than we thought.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And this, I keep feeling there's like this space in between. It's always felt either 3 or 4 people in that. It's like this space that I can feel like a lot of spirits are here holding this space.
My father will come in.
Exactly. Exactly. So happy Sunday. Fun day, sacred circle with our very dear, very, very dear special guest.
Thank you.
Dear brother of my heart for many, many years. And now Michael finally got a chance to meet.
Yeah.
And we get to hear your wonderful message of divine today. So once again, we gather here because we were called to open the space to just really embrace what it's like when we open our hearts and when you open your home and you just open the door to divine, what happens? And the beauty of it and the gifts of it that come when we really give from divine, not from our limited self, but the divine. And everything here is focused around that message, around the sacred flame of that. And also for you to receive whatever that resonates with you today, really just be open in reception. And whatever doesn't resonate, toss it out, including our loved ones on live stream. Thank you so much, everybody that's on live stream. It keeps going on live stream. We're very grateful for the messages to be sent out other places. And also take what you receive here and see however way in your unique expression you can really pay it forward. Move the energy forward because it only opens up to you. We created a creative
list of 55 activities, which is on our page, but anything from helping someone across the street, a nice smile, a nice hug, a phone call, any act of kindness from your heart that you feel that you can just pass it on, because we know there's power in gatherings. Yeah. There's power when we all feel connected. And sometimes in the fast-paced world out there, we just forget to come together and celebrate our love, our friendship, our beauty with each other. So we feel honored when you guys come and just celebrate yourself for being here.
Yeah.
And then taking that energy and just sharing it as like a domino effect. You go out there and just pay that back for in however way that touches your heart. It can be as simple as doing karmic yoga and picking up trash outside. It can be as simple as making some food and passing it along. Whatever you feel that touches your heart, feel free, because we feel blessed that you touch our hearts each time you're here.
Yeah. And that way that we are together creating this art of giving that keeps giving. We never run out of it. So there's a huge list.
Yeah.
And you can see it later. Yeah. Thank you, Maida. So, my goodness, it's a week from Resurrection Sunday, next week Sunday. And I woke up yesterday morning feeling all my 50 trillion cells like as if they had become sun, like literally sun. And I kept saying, I'm the sun, I'm the sun, like I'm the sun. I can feel I am the sun. I'm the sun of this universe, and I'm connecting with that universe. And just feeling, like really feeling this inner nature, this resurrection that we see. We're so blessed to be able to experience being on the outside, but really being able to experience what's taking place. Because I feel that reflection, what we see in these little buds, in the little flowers, and the blossoms are all what is taking place inside from this very difficult many, many, many weeks of going inward and being able to just clear debris. There's so much debris inside of us from physical body, in the emotional body, in the mental body, in the etheric body, in the spiritual body. And not just from this lifetime, from lifetimes and off planets, different consciousness, multiverses, universes. And if we allow our head to sort of try to grasp it, it will just give up because it can't handle it. So we have to give it to the job of the bigger part of us, the heart, that knows how to really embrace it and connect with it and align with it. Yesterday, I had this little tiny pink rose flower. One part of it is here. And I was just allowing it to just kiss my face gently, kiss my forehead, kiss my eyelashes, and just this elegance, but yet power. Like, what is this? What is this power inside this little tiny rose that has so much frequency of presence, like that is activating me to feel something so much deeper within myself? And I really said it, that I was like, okay, just go ahead and allow myself to be kissed, allow myself to be just held by this vibration. I can't quite articulate the vibration, but I can feel there's something bigger that's hugging me, that wants to behold me, that wants to just embrace me. Some of you may have been feeling this, like, wow, like there's a part of me that's coming back, right? How many of you feel that? I did a video about this. There's this, last week I said, there's this feeling like homecoming. It's like suddenly this deeper, bigger part of ourselves that has no words, really, we can't really capture it in a word. We attempt to put it in some kind of vibration context just to grasp it. We might call it divine, we might call it source, we might call it like the almighty or the prime creator, but we still can't capture the fullness of it. Yet, if we just sit in it, we start to breathe in the majestic presence that's like sparkling, shimmering inside of us. And if you tune in enough, you can start to feel it in your cells, because it's the same perfection that we're seeing on the outside. When you're driving, are you on like me and Michael? We're like, oh, the blossoms, like, oh, you get all like googly eye, like crazy, like as if you've seen a little baby, right? Or like a little baby, I don't know, puppy, or like a baby turtle, or like a baby duck. Do you feel that same way? What is that? Why is this like little pinky cherry blossom like that? It's like, it's just like feeling you're in church already. You're just like hallelujah like crazy. What is that? Like we went to see the cherry blossoms. I just went to scream like, I feel you, God, I feel you. I can feel you. Like really, I don't know what's happening to me. Like, oh my God, like I'm ecstatic. Right? Is it just me? Yeah. Okay, good. Thank God. But I feel it. What is that? I can feel the vibration the minute I come into it. We took some pictures with what were the tulips? Oh my goodness. One tulip inside of it. Inside. I zoomed it in. Had all these heart patterns. I was like I felt I was so drunk. The ecstasy of God. Like, I was like, my God, you put heart in your art, in the flower. Just so I can feel your love. Like the whole creation is made out of love. And I was like a baby, I got your signature. Like, I got your signature. The whole thing is created with love, right? And then, so again, like yesterday, I was like touching. Okay, let me just show you this. Just so that you can see what I was doing. Well, you can see it's almost demolished because how much I was letting it kiss me, right? So I've actually done a full 2-hour meditation with this, a kissing meditation. But as I was just letting it just touch my skin, just feeling that connection. So what is it about nature that does this to us? What is it communicating? What is the spring trying to tell me? I want to hear not with my ears. I want to hear not with my head. I want to hear not with my physical body. I want to hear with my spirit. What are you telling me? What are you showing me? And as I was experiencing this, I was like, I want to embrace. I'm embracing. I want to embrace. I really want to embrace me. Not this me, the whole me, the all of me, the Christed me, the avatar me, the I am presence me. And this being a very important representation of that. Because all of that is coming in and 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 coming home. I feel it. Like I'm coming home. I'm coming home to where I always was. Just kind of got like sidetracked, like on the highway, just took off the exit, like this exit and that exit and that exit and that exit. And then it's like, all right, get back. There's the light coming back home. We're all going to get there. We're getting there in our Ascension. But this perfect frequency, like perfect vibration in the sacred geometry, I said, wow, like my entire geometric pattern is finally becoming how it always was. I'm finally coming back to the way the Creator created me in the first place. But I just happened to forget a little bit because my frequency went more towards the disharmony and the dysfunction and the illusion and the delusions, right? The oppressions and the suppressions, the depressions. But part of it was also perfect because I had to experience that in which was in separation from me so that I can bring all of me back to that wholeness. So I feel so grateful to be kissed in this day. And I wish I had bought the roses. Why didn't we buy roses yesterday, Michael, so we could do the rose kisses today? Because we were assisting another friend yesterday in the middle of that. So I invite you, Queen of the flowers, not really, but sit with that. Sit with that. What is that? Why is it you admire? Because you know the truth in you. It's that amazing, that delicious, that beautiful, that perfect. And how beautiful to start to feel that, like, wow, I'm just not going to fight the grace of God in me anymore. I'm not going to fight that violate the truth in me anymore. I'm going to begin to embrace it because I've done that too. And I certainly know where that leads. Let me just start let me give it to this one. I've certainly given to temptation, right? I certainly have given to illusions. Let me give in to wholeness. Let me see how much good I'll create from here instead. So Raymond and I, when we first met, was it like 12 years ago? in this incarnation at least, there was one thing that bonded Raymond and I right away, and it was the grace of God. We just looked at each other. We're like, the grace of God. And this reminded me yesterday of the grace of God that you and I talked about, like how gracious. We call it God. That's not even the right name, but that presence is, in which is embraced and brought forth. So we're coming home. There's this homecoming because the homecoming is also helping us rise. It's very interesting. We have Easter coming up. So of course, through religion, there are all kinds of ways that they practice. And again, we allow it to be. It serves its purpose. But when you have awoken to a truth within you, you recognize your resurrection flame in you has arisen. You've arisen from your own ashes. You are the phoenix. Because, holy crap, haven't we gone through like hell and back already in this incarnation? No, seriously, come on, let me see. I mean, for goodness sake, who are we kidding, right? It's been freaking difficult here. This planet, it's been no joke being sent here, whether we volunteer or not. And somehow, some crazy notion, some of us are like, volunteer, I'm taking that. I've been volunteer card and I'd be like, I'm coming. Remember, Susan? Michael's mom and I are like, we're going down. We got this. Why? Because we were trained in so many lifetimes, so many planes, so many planets. We got our tools. Like, we're going to get this done. And we came in with a little bit of the arrogance and the ego. Like, we got this. Right? We can do this. And then we got here. We're like, oh, no, take me back. Car accident. Suicide, please, take me back. I am leaving your illness. Please send me back. This is like wrong. And then the team above is like, I'm trained. You will do this. You got this. We got you. Go finish it. So here we are. Nothing that none of us, can really resist. So here we are together. We gotta make a little lightness out of it because we're ascending to who we are. Nothing outside of us. We're coming home to that grace, and we are delivering the divine plan. And it is the purity flame that is returning home. It is that light of love that we are, that we made out of, and all of our cells knows it. And they're all dancing. Okay, let's start dancing with this universe now again. So we're not in separation anymore. So with that, I felt, as always, let's just do a little something, right? We gotta feel the spring energy a little bit. So come on up, stand up for a second. We're gonna do a little sizzling, like feeling. It's important. So I really felt every morning this week, since last week, I feel like this singing this, I'm coming home. I'm home, I'm coming home. And I felt like, well, just join that a little bit, just allowing all parts of us, the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, the etheric body, the spiritual body, all of our bodies from all places, all timelines. Remember, there's this magnetic pull from the center of the heart that's calling all of us back home. Just retracting the energy. Where it's leaking, you're coming home. So let us bring our hands here a little bit. Let us go ahead and take a white mist breath into ourselves. And breathe out a white mist. One more time, make it deeper. And one more time, breathe in that white mist. And breathe it out. And with your eyes closed, as you gently sway from side to side, I will begin this. And I want you to just join in the way it feels right to you. Okay? Let your body just slowly move. So you're in that movement, so all your other bodies are also moving. Here we go. I'm coming home. 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 I am home. I am home. I am home. I am home. Breathe that in. Breathe it out. Yeah. And so it is. Thank you so much. We are home. We sure are. Thank you so much. So please go right ahead as we welcome beautiful Raymond. Come on over. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Glad to be here with everyone. See my brother Phil. Again, it's been a long time. So when Honey first asked me to take the space, and I was trying to think about, like, what comes to mind? What did I share? And gratitude came up for me. And so when I was thinking about, okay, I have so much to be thankful for, like, how do I will that down? How do I? Because I could stay here for like a couple of days talking about gratitude. And so I thought that I would just listen inside. And when I was listening inside, this is kind of what came up for me. Number one, I wanted to tell my brothers, especially my masculine brothers, that the earth really needs us right now to lead from the front spiritually, and to not be afraid that it's time for us to assist with Gaia's ascension and everyone else's ascension. So we have to kind of lead from the front with that. So I wanted to put that out there. So you all have read my bio, so you know that I come from an Eastern tradition that I follow. And I wanted to share with you two experiences that I had that kind of affirmed for me that it's okay to have purpose, to not just be a football player, for example, but to be a spiritual guy and
to embrace the world that way. So my spiritual teacher, Sant Darshan Singh, was a renowned poet in India. He won the Urdu Academy of Awards in poetry, which is a very high, prestigious thing. So one of his poems came into my head. One that he planted, not one that I memorized, but it goes like this. It was a clear day, and I could feel the wind blowing in my direction. And I could see the rain clouds coming closer. And I have been rained on so many times that I am wet and I am saturated with rainwater. And I am grateful because rainwater is not adversity. Rainwater is a blessing. And so this is the first experience when I was 13 years old, 24 hours before my sister passed away. She had ovarian cancer at 16. And she had come home from the hospital after having major surgery where they removed a tumor from her the size of a grapefruit. And she was not doing very well. And my family, which was very close, was really in disarray. And I had the habit of sitting on the couch at night as a 13-year-old on Saturday until the TV went off. And back in those days, the TV channel went off. Some of you guys who might be in my age group, might remember that they used to play the national anthem and the jets would fly over and then the station was gone. So I'm sitting on the couch and out of this right hemisphere started to come this music. And I had never heard this music before, and it was starting to grow very loud, and I was starting to become very concerned because I didn't know where it was coming from. And as I sat there, I tried to think in my 13-year-old mind, like, where is this music coming from? Oh, my mom and dad must have left the stereo on down in the rec room in the basement. So let me just walk down there and turn it off. So I go to the door and I open the door and it's pitch black. There's nothing there. And the music at that time transitions into a chorus of people singing. 800, 900 people singing in unison. And in my 13-year-old mind, I'm thinking like, okay, tomorrow is Sunday because it's after midnight. And there must be some neighbor on the street. They're having choir practice to get ready for the chorus tomorrow. So let me just go to the front door and open that door and look outside. And I expected to see, hundreds of cars parked on the street from all these people because there were only 2 houses on my block at that time in Columbia, Maryland, 1969. And so I open the door and there's no cars, there's nothing. And this music starts to transition into church bells ringing. And so in my 13-year-old mind, I'm thinking, I've been everywhere on my bicycle in Columbia. There are no churches with steeples. Like, where is this coming from? Then I'm thinking to myself, okay, mom and dad upstairs in the bedroom, their clock radio must have gone off and, they didn't wake up to turn it off. So let me go upstairs and, kind of see what's going on. So I start to walk up the stairs. And as I'm walking up the stairs, I have to go past my sister's bedroom. And I could hear that she's crying and that she's suffering without trying to disturb anyone. And so I just knock gently on the door and I say to her, Pamela, are you okay? And she said, yes, I'm okay. I said, do you want me to wake up mom and dad? Because in my 13-year-old mind, this could be like very serious. And I should wake my parents up and let them know what's going on. And she said, no, don't wake them up. just go to bed, everything is going to be okay. And so I go down to my room, I sit on my bed, and this music fades. And so I want to fast forward for you just a little bit that when I was 20, I traveled to India to see my spiritual teacher. I had studied for about 9 months and read every book that I could get on this particular path, and I decided I was going to go to India and I was going to see him. And my mom and dad put their foot down. They're like, you're on a football scholarship, you're not going anywhere, you're not going to India. My mom was crying, it's a third world country, you could die over there of cholera or something like that. And my dad was like, you're going back to college, you're playing football, you can go to India after you graduate. And so that was the end of that conversation. And unbeknownst to them, I worked 3 jobs that summer, got my visa, got my passport and my airline ticket, and made my reservations, paying on flight number 1 to head to India. So the night before I left, we were having dinner at the table, and I said, Mom, Dad, tomorrow morning I'm off to India. I'll be gone for like 3 weeks, and I love you both. And this is something that I have to do. And my father was so upset with me. He was like vibrating in his chair, and he got up and he went upstairs. And so the next morning I'm off to India. And my intention was to ask my spiritual teacher for the initiation into the meditation practice that we practice. And so he granted that, and I had a private interview with him, and I said to him, Master, I have 3 questions. And he said, 300, doesn't matter. I want you to be satisfied when you leave here because you've come a long way. And I said, well, are you a salt? Can you really take me in like I've read? He said, yes, brother, I'm competent enough to do that. And I said, okay. And I said, Master, I had a sister and she passed away. And he said, yes. I said, well, Master, what can you tell me of my sister? And so he closed his eyes, and maybe what seemed like half a minute later, he opened his eyes and he said, brother, your sister's in a very good place. And didn't she tell you that you should go to bed, that everything is all right? And the hair literally stood up on my arms and everything, because it freaked me out, because there was no other person on the planet who heard that conversation between my sister and I, and here he is repeating it back to me word for word. So that told me that these spiritual masters are more than just guys dressed up in white. And so the day of my initiation, which was August the 29th, 1975, there's 2 practices. One is meditation, where you sit for gazing on the inner light. And the other one is bhajan, where you plug your ears and you listen for the inner sound. So we had already completed the first portion of that initiation. And now we're in the second portion. And so my spiritual teacher, Sant Darshan Singh, is sitting up front with Mr. T.S. Khanna, who brought us over from America. And I'm sitting with 21 of my other brothers and sisters from the West, and we're in the first group of Master Darshan giving this initiation. So he explains to us how to do the bhajan practice, and you're supposed to put your thumbs in your ears and you just, listen. And so I started to put my thumbs in my ears, and from the right hemisphere, I started to hear this music. And the music transitioned into a chorus of people singing. And then after that, instead of church bells, it was a flute playing. And I thought to myself, this must be a scam. Because, how can this be happening? I'm in India. And so I got up out of my chair, I went to the window, and I looked out of the window praying that I would see some guy out there playing a flute, but there was nobody out there. And I didn't know where this music was coming from. And so I sat back down in my chair and I looked up at Darshan Singh, and he was just smiling at me. And so I put my thumbs back in my ears, and that's when the flute transitioned into church bells playing. And then I made the connection that these masters had been in my life before I took birth here, and that I need to embrace my destiny, and that Master Darshan had actually come for the spirit of my sister 24 hours before she made her transition. And this was the same music that I heard when I was 13 years old, and it just freaked me out like anything. And so that's when I started to pay attention. That's when I really started to get that spirituality and all that we have been learning about and practicing is very profound. And when I got back stateside, I couldn't go back to college. You know, I had had such a profound experience in India, and my dad got tired of me sitting around the house, and he was like, you got to go back to school, and you're not going to, just sit around and things like that. And so my friend Donald and I, my best friend who I went to India with, we used to go down to the Yes bookstore in Washington, D.C. on M Street, on 31st and M Street. And they had esoteric books in there, and you could get like a vegetarian sandwich made, and it was cool. We used to go down and read and read and read and read. And so one day, I could feel the wind blowing, the rain clouds coming in my direction, and I've been rained on so many times that I am wet and I am saturated with rainwater. And I am grateful, because the rainwater is not adversity. The rainwater is a blessing. And while we were reading, this Black man who was looked to me about 6'4". I stand about 6'3", and he's like taller than me. And he was radiant, and he had a dashiki on, which was not unusual back in those days. And he walked over to my friend Don and I, and he told us his name, and he was talking. And as he was talking, I couldn't really hear very well, because it was like this music was going on in my head, like as if I had earphones on. And what I heard him say was, I'm from the White Brotherhood, and I'm glad that you guys are here. You're on the right path. Just keep going and don't let anything stop you. And then he turned around and he walked away. And that's what I wanted to share with you, is that embrace your purpose. For men, we have to lead from the front. This is very serious stuff that's going on with the Ascension and helping Gaia raise to her next level, and all the beings who are on the planet raise to the next level. And, I'm with Honey. I didn't want to come here. Sankapal Singh was talking in my head while I was coming down through the birth canal and said, I will come back for you. And he did come back for me. And so that's essentially what I wanted to share with you, is some of my personal experiences that inform my convictions and inform my purpose. And I'm sure you've had your own, but I want to just share an inkling with you of what some of my personal experiences has been. So, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Raymond. That was truly touching, very beautiful, and I feel we all could feel that in our hearts from your divine expression. And that's where I want to start with, because I feel there is a very, very powerful expression that's happening out there, around us, and in here. And I loved how Honey spoke about the flower, because we get super giddy about these flowers and these buds and these trees. And if people really saw us, they'd probably think we were like on some crazy drug. Because when we walk around, like, wow. And I love how you started because there's something so magical happening. Spring is one of my most favorite seasons. And I just, like honey, there's something about these plants, these buds, this expression, this life, this energy that is blooming right before us. God of birth, regeneration, this magnificent rise that is taking place right now. It's funny because I also have to mention this week has been one of the most powerful weeks of my life of feeling this levity. And it's not from honey showing me these bunnies jumping around all the time or these goats that are jumping. I mean, honestly, I get more animal Facebook things of babies. Look at this little cat. Look at this vibration expression that it is so hilarious because I'm halfway up. If it's night or in the morning, there's another video of a rabbit going like this, or going like this. And it's unbelievable of this expression. It's like, look at these little animals. Look at this vibration. There's this energy. And I can't help just smile and laugh because of what she does, because it really touches my heart to remember that expression is in here. I mean, I don't know, it's with babies. Do you see how babies, when they come to life, how full of life they are? How they're falling around, they're hitting things, and we all laugh at them, right? I mean, as adults, if we did that, they think we're kind of weird and strange. But there's this expression that's coming through. And then one that's been just so infatuated with the body. You know, I know there's a lot of healers, I know there's people with the body, and just looking at the natural expression of the body, right? From our expression of what we see, how we hear. And we're not looking out of one eye, right? We're not walking around with one leg. We're expressing, right? There's this divine energy that's coming through right now. And what's so powerful is every organism, every piece of life, every energy is woven in this divine expression that is within us right now. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm pretty darn excited. Yet, without judging, without overthinking, there is this limitation with just adults, with just humans. Sometimes limit our expression. We hold back this expression. We know the judgment, the fears, the guilt, the shame that hold us back, which is, in all levity, it's okay. Those are our tests. Those are our gifts. Those are our areas of coming forward. But I love this, as Honey said this, because as many of you know, we never really talk about what we're going to say. We just come up and express it. We just come in for what message is coming forward. Isn't it our own choice of where we place that expression? Do we want to express with the high bunnies jumping around, the goats jumping everything, and feel this joy and love? Or do we want to focus on the expression of the low vibrations and keep us in this so-called 3D dimension? Because right now, as the blossoms are blooming, as the birds are chirping, as everything is rising right now, it's an invitation for us to join the party. Because we are going back home. Thank you, honey. It feels so good to feel that I'm coming home. Because we are coming home. It is our parade. It's just, we're now working through what needs to be cleared and expressed. And sometimes, guess what? The expression of the guilt, the shame, the blame, the anxiety, it wants to be heard. It wants to be heard because that too are like the jumping bunnies. Maybe not as excited as the ones Honey shows me. But they want to be expressed. And guess what happens when that's expressed? What happens when we get to express, I'm just going to call it the bullshit. We get to express the pain, the sadness, the emotion. What happens when we get to express that? Even in this week, to be honored inspired to stand in front of a very blessed being and have her express her divine truth, to see what happens in ourselves. Freedom, liberation, peace, and our evolution for us to fully become in our divinity, which is there already. In this springtime, in this moment, I know many of us feel we're going through a lot. So much that we're like, guys, can you get me out of here? Yet, when given the opportunity to express from the heart in everything that's coming through us, without holding back, that allows the gift of what so many of us feel right here. Love. That love right here wants to shine and pour and wants to fully be expressed. We just have to clear the stuff that's blocking it. The barriers, the guards, the reputation, the embarrassment, the insecurities, it's just right here holding us back. Holding us back from our divine full expression. And just imagine, beyond what the mind thinks, beyond what we could possibly imagine, we are all expressions here to change this world. Thank you, brother, for the message of what us divine masculine has to do to support the feminine that's been kind of waiting for us for a little while. Kind of like, come on. I can kick the ass when, honey sees it. Boy, it's harder sometimes. But we're waiting to fulfill our fullest expression beyond what we could possibly imagine. We are here beyond any possible thought, any possible brain cell that imaginable. We are to express beyond any element because we're all standing in front of our ancestors, in front of all of us to be the highest expression of our light, the highest expression of our love. We're here to do that now. And nothing is getting in the way but this in what we're not expressing. That's what's getting in the way. What we're not expressing is what's actually limiting us of the full expression that's right here waiting. I wish it was more complicated. Sometimes I wish it was more complicated. I really wish it was like that, because you know what the brain and that darn mental body wants to say? Good cue. It wants to give us the excuse. I know this quite well. I've given about 1 billion honey. It wants to defend.
But not anymore, Mike.
Not anymore. In the past, it's springtime. But that mind wants to just limit us. It just wants to hold us back in the excuse of like, it's too tough. It's too difficult. I don't believe. Well, I doubt it. Oh my goodness, I don't have enough. This is this. Oh geez, this is how. There's all these. I mean, we gotta call it for real. It's excuses. It's our defense. It's our resistance, which is okay. Again, it's okay. I know somewhere in the mind's being like, oh shit, I'm doing it again. But that's okay too, because that needs to be expressed. That expression is here for us. This group, this gathering is for us to fully come forward and express and not hold back anymore. We can't, because if we do, we're going to get kicked in the ass again. Like really, like if once we keep holding back, what we resist is going to keep persisting. I know we've heard that before, right? So I invite in this beautiful spring. I get so excited in the mornings now to like, even before going to prayer, look at the buds and be, wow, you're growing, you're expressing. I can do that too. Because if we all come together and express in the beautiful energy that's coming before us, then we're supported in the honor that is us evolving, expanding, creating. That is our expression. That is our love. So I want to lead you through something very simple, very small. But before I leave, just want you guys to imagine in your own expression within of a dream, of magic, of something that you just want to fully express inward, but visualize it, feel it, create it. Just for a couple seconds before I lead you where we're going, closing your eyes, I just want you to imagine this beautiful, amazing, wonderful, fantastic dream of yours, no matter how incredibly large, surreal or not it is. And now, placing your hands over your heart and taking a nice deep breath in and exhale out. Feeling this dream. Imagining the beauty, the joy, and the greatness of this dream happening before you. Feeling the abundance and prosperity, and feeling this love, this divine expression, this image right before you, within, happening before you, expanding within you, the giddiness, the happiness, the unbelievable nature that it's actually coming true. Feel that. Imagine that. Allow that. As if it's now expanding throughout your body, throughout your environment, as it's happening like a movie, role-playing. Feel that expression, that dream, that vision that is now in your heart. Feeling the expansion and growth and the great possibility of what's before you. Breathing into that and feeling that. Giving affirmation, giving value, support, great love that this dream, this vision within is being expressed. It's being placed before you. And thanking that with the deepest gratitude that this expression, this divinity has been in your heart, waiting for you, like a little puppy dog, a little goat or bunny, to be loved, to be nourished, and to be fully supported in the divinity that is within. Feeling that magnificence and feeling that power, embracing that into your heart by silently saying thank you. Breathing that in and breathing that out. Breathing that in and breathing that out. And slowly opening your eyes. Remembering this divine expression, this ability to create everything that your dreams, desires, and wishes is right here. In the deepest gratitude, the deepest love that can be placed into it. It is here awaiting like magic. Believe in that magic. Trust that magic. Create the faith, and most important, the will. Not the human will, but the will of God, because that's here waiting, right here. And it's just a matter of expressing it.
Perfect. The prayer will take us into my love. Oh, you didn't tell my dream last night. We're in the store.
I was going to tell a beautiful dream, but that's
that's
enough.
okay.
This
That's
is a good.
another
I'll be
one.
an after. I was trying to figure out how I was going to get that in.
No, that's okay. Okay. We let it go. It was a meaningful dream, but that's okay. We can start it again. It's okay.
It's next.
Next one. That's okay. So with this, there was a prayer that I wanted us to, because it ties into what Michael said, that I feel is really, really wonderful. And interesting enough, this is the one that I had done today. So without knowing it, it ties into all of this. So through the I am presence prayer, this has been years of, I do want to share how this came to me. I was in Mount Shasta. The first time I went to Mount Shasta, I'd stayed at this bed and breakfast. And I was sent there for the planetary work for 8-8, working with the Stargate 8-8 and working with the Arcturians had sent me there working with that like 5 years ago. So anyway, when I was there, the Great White Brotherhood of Light, they work quite a bit with that, with the delusions. There's a whole lot going on. And there was this one purple book like there, and it kept like pulsing, this like violet purple pulsing. And, I've just paid attention to it, nothing other than that. So I went up on the mountain. I had to be there at 8 in the morning. So for the 8:08, and I was by myself all the way up in Panther's Meet, and like usually like setting up the medicine, we were getting ready for whatever is supposed to happen, because I have to work with the Syrians through the Orion belt, through Egypt, what's taking place there, here, and just connect. There's a lot going on there, and I use a lot of sound vibration there. So I experienced 3 different races of alien being. One, about 9 feet in front of me, is a silvery being show up, and 2 other ones comes up. And of course, when you're in the mountain, you feel like, okay, this is like way high altitude. I'm tripping out, but I'm actually experiencing one of the alien beings coming there to visit, and there's a lot took place. Anyway, so I drove down the mountain, and I was like really dizzy and like because there's a lot that took place. And anyway, I came back. Then the book, it seemed like the book was like moving now towards me. I didn't know what was happening with this book. So finally, David, the owner, came and said, "Hey, honey, I don't know why. I feel I need to give you the book, with the prayer book." I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "This is the very first copy of Ariel Louise's book that when he first published, Saint Germain guided her through the whole sacred flames, 7 sacred flames, and anyway, all the Kohans of the Ray of Light guided her, so she wrote the book, and it's the first copy that was out of the print, and she gave it to me before she died, and I feel I have to give it to you. So the book that I have is that one that's handed with this, and it's taken a beating, you see, over the years. So I committed myself from that day, every single day, working with this I am presence in the sacred flames and meeting the different Kohans of the Ray of Light. And I didn't know what was happening, and I started going through the training in their temples of light, in the octaves, and very intense training. It's done wonders for me because it helped me connect to the higher part of me and using the flames that are here to help us and support us. So with that, I want us to, there's one particular play that I want you to really embrace. So you can sit as you are and just place your hands in your heart. And I want you to really tune in here, inside the heart. And that vibration of the joy is very important. And I want you to repeat after me, okay? Just repeat after me with just your own life verse so you can claim it. There's a part of it claiming. And this one is the prayer for I now accept my abundance. Good one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. In the name of my beloved I am presence.
In the name of my beloved I am presence.
And my beloved holy Christ self.
And my beloved holy Christ self.
I call to the Lords of manifestation.
I call to the Lords of manifestation.
Angels of prosperity.
Angels of prosperity.
Fortuna.
Fortuna.
Goddess of supply.
Goddess of supply.
And let me just stop it. When you say it, please don't say, and Goddess of supply. Fortuna. I'm telling you, you want to say it, put some energy behind it. Own it. It goes wonders, that frequency is like, yeah, comes in. Okay. Goddess of supply.
Goddess of supply.
And Lord of gold.
And Lord of gold.
To assist me now.
To assist me now.
In mastering all outer conditions.
In mastering all outer conditions.
Of my life.
Of my life.
In God's perfect way.
In God's perfect way.
Including my true abundance.
Including my true abundance.
Charge, charge, charge.
Charge, charge, charge.
Into my life and use today.
Into my life and use today.
All the blessings that are mine to receive.
All the blessings that are mine to receive.
Infuse me with ascended master wisdom and purity.
Infuse me with ascended master wisdom and purity.
That I may never again experience lack or limitation.
That I may never again experience lack or limitation.
Blaze your heart flame through my 4 body systems.
Blaze your heart flame through my 4 body systems.
And expand without limit.
And expand without limits.
A great flow of divine abundance.
A great flow of divine abundance.
Saturate me with enough violet flame.
Saturate me with enough violet flame.
And emerald healing light.
And emerald healing light.
To keep my life in perfect balance and harmony.
To keep my life in perfect balance and harmony.
I demand God's invincible protection and wisdom.
I demand God's invincible protection and wisdom.
In all my financial endeavors.
In all my financial endeavors.
I demand to become a magnet of attraction.
I demand to become a magnet of attraction.
Drawing to me all the wealth that I require.
Drawing to me all the wealth that I require.
To fulfill my divine plan on earth.
To fulfill my divine plan on earth.
To make my ascension.
To make my ascension.
And to assist my fellow man to do likewise.
To assist my fellow man to do likewise.
I give thanks that this is done.
I give thanks that this is done.
According to God's holy will.
According to God's holy will.
I will now accept my abundance.
I will now accept my abundance.
With love and gratitude.
With love and gratitude.
And so it is.
And so it is.
And so be it.
And so be it.
Beloved, I am.
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 And it says, Gratitude is the key to attract great abundance. Always show gratitude for everything you receive. Appreciate the wondrous assistance that we are receiving from the realms of light. May you be God victorious in all ways. So, yeah. You can feel it, huh? It's getting hot in here. That's usually what happens. So let us rise and let us close our circle with
I'll do it out there.
it gets warm in here. When we speak of the light is illuminated and it's warm. Let us close the circle with our sweaty palms and sweaty arms and that deliciousness. Come on over here. When we open that place of that holy spark inside, and we feel it, we got to feel it. You can't fake it, you gotta feel it. You feel it and you make it. Yeah, and you breathe into that place. As we breathe in and hold each other in this circle of light, circle of heart, hearting each other, hearing each other. We allow these beautiful materializations and manifestations take place. Master Hilarian's ray of light is green. He's the fifth koan of the ray of light, and he's here for the healing and manifestation, as is Archangel Raphael. And it's very interesting when we are experiencing hurts in our bodies and there's pains in our bodies, we are blocking the manifestation on earth because the healing has to take place. That means the energy has to open up. And what has happened is that those pains in the body is communicating to us so we can be heard, hearted, so that we can bring the great manifestations onto earth. And they're here to help support us. May we generously heart ourselves, heart each other, and allowing this journey that each of us have courageously taken and feeling for each other and laughing about it through all the bumps we experience along the way. And that full recognition that we are all in it together. And sometimes we pass through the bumps of the roads, and I feel Michael and I in the last 10 days, something has transpired. Like we feel we're breathing something. It feels lighter. Oh, feels like we passed all those bumps on the road. Oh, thank goodness. This feels good. This feels good. And I'm not worried about if there are going to be roads, bumps in the roads again. I'm just enjoying this right now. And I can feel this time is permanent. Something has changed. Maybe be a reminder that this is for all of us, that we are all in it together. We are all signed up to do God's work by feeling it, not thinking it, going through it like the warriors that we are, the spiritual warriors, the spiritual angels here on earth, to transmute, transcend, transform all that density back into light. And each of us are of purpose. And together creating the perfect, amazing, sacred, geometric, harmonic frequencies with our rays of light. And for that, we're so grateful to each other. Thank you to this circle. Thank you for the spirits here. Thank you to the Great White Brotherhood of Light, Astral Command, to Galactic Federation of Light, to the Dragon team, to the Ascended Masters team, to our angels and guardians, to the spirit animals, to the baby animals and the blossoms and the crystals, and sacred Gaia, her fifth dimensional frequency, her crystalline heart. Thank you for all that is before us to continuously remind us of the same magic that we are. And may we all resurrect bright and bold and beautiful in our bountifulness through all that we have transcended, and stand up tall with smile and joy that we have done it on behalf of Divine and all the counterparts. And we get our ticket back home. We're going home. We're home. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
That was great. So good. Let's hug each other. Hug each other with our love. We saved by trying live stream for a second. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.